It's really big news. It's really, really big news. And our country has to shape up. But that's what we're going to be talking about Thursday is it doesn't get bigger, because without free and fair elections, you don't have a country. We'll be discussing other things too, but it's going to be a very big announcement. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? People are saying that he's going to say that the 2020 elections in Georgia there may have been evidence of wrongdoing there or something, but then
wait, did he say that? I thought he was talking about the inflation numbers.
The inflation numbers already, that was today. No, he was talking about his Thursday primetime speech.
Oh yeah, what is that about?
I'm not sure, because it was reported and then he
Iran,
right? That it was about that, and then now I don't know, but
I thought it was about Iran, to be honest with you. But taking over the Strait, Eric, and making money off of it or whatever, that whole big geopolitical.
Well, I'm confused about that too, because I think he said we're doing it and he's going to have a toll,
right?
And then we're not having a toll, and I don't know. You're following this, so what is going on?
From what I understand, and this is just layman, he wants to use the military to impose, as you and I discussed 3 or 4 weeks ago, to open up the Straits of Hormuz, and on top of it, charge a surplus to go through. That's what I gather up from it in the simplest of terms. The military would guarantee the opening of the strait, which I said from day one they should have taken over and escorted every single oil tanker through the strait. And then for that, he now wants to get paid, and he is right.
Except he flipped on it. So that was yesterday.
that I don't know.
No, it's not. So.
That I don't know. Yeah, that I can't explain to you. I'm just trying to understand what he said that allowed me to use my brain to interpret. Whether he flips on it 5 minutes later, I just can't flip my brain that quick.
No,
I'm just trying to analyze what he said.
Armada is saying that's against international law because it's international water. So I don't know. I'm actually even more interested in the pipeline that apparently they're building, and I'm like, why hasn't this shit been done before? You had 47 years of Iran to build a damn pipeline going right off.
Everything was, why wasn't it done before? I mean, let me ask you this. Why are they now targeting military targets in Iran? Like, what targets did they miss the first time? Well, they have no air force. They have no air defenses. What is so fucking difficult to pull this off?
That's why I think that they were low on munitions. And
they're bombing the shit out of them
because they've been probably building it, and now they're hitting more targets. So
I find that hard to believe.
Well,
I mean, we have so many. It seems impossible to me. If you were in a Ukrainian-Russian type war, daily slogging back and forth, I would say you might run low on munitions, but simply launching some cruise missiles at the beginning of this thing, you can't just say we're out of missiles. That sounds impossible. I mean, it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion.
I know, but I've been in the military and I know how these drawdown goes and things like that. And if they haven't built up the supply, they run out quicker than you think.
Okay. Again, I'm not an expert. It sounds absurd. What else do you have?
I don't know.
Just on this Iranian thing, I don't know what to say, because I can only report on the news that I read 5 minutes ago. I can't flip that quickly, Eric. So what my take on it was, he wants to charge some money to escort these ships. That could be a private thing. It could be separate from international waters. He's not hijacking the ships. Mm-hmm. If they escort it with the U.S. military during a time of war, I don't know how that comes to play into international waters.
Yeah, apparently it's the fees and whatnot. But anyway, we'll see.
Yeah.
Armada is stepping in saying the targets they missed are bridges and the like dual use stuff. So maybe that's it. Things that are
Okay.
considered dual use, they're hitting. That makes a certain amount of sense.
Again, I can only point back to the Bosnian conflict with Bill Clinton hitting every single target in sight, bridges, schools, roads, depots, grids, everything in the span of a couple of weeks, and it was over. And
Yeah,
then
well,
on top of it, we captured Milosevic and put him on trial in The Hague.
well, you could bring up Iraq too. I mean, we hit a lot of things in Iraq after the fact or after that point, and caught Saddam Hussein. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
we kept
yeah.
hanging out, and hanging out. So that became an issue.
Time to go, right? What's his name was caught in a drain pipe. Gaddafi, you remember?
Oh, he was on the road. There's footage of him being grabbed and executed.
Right,
And
but
Saddam was in
they
the spider hole.
right, but they found Gaddafi in a aqueduct. I remember them pulling him out of there.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're gonna hide, you're gonna hide. I mean, they found Charles Manson in a cupboard.
That's true. That's true. There's many places to hide. Many places to hide, my friend.
Yep, and he was not a big guy. Here's somebody who could have used a place to hide, and we have it queued up because he does resemble a fine member of our locals community, Pasha. And this is the charging bison.
Well, Pasha really went down hard on that one.
Yeah, he did. The bottom line is apparently when a bull bison's tail starts wagging, that means that they're agitated. And then when it goes and it holds straight up, that means it's on. So you need to get the F away.
I've camped there before on numerous occasions, and I know the layout there. I've seen, obviously, those bisons. One time I was there, and a black guy, not that it mattered, but he was this big black guy in a tiny Volkswagen Bug. And he got out of the Bug, and he started the Beetle, and he started making a video. Remember they used to have those big video cameras back in the day? Starts taping the bison from like literally 30 feet away. It begins to charge. He retreats to this tinfoil German car called the Volkswagen, and the bison is lifting it up off its wheels, and he's yelling, "Help me, somebody help me." And people are just hundreds and hundreds of people. There's nothing you can do to help them. And the bison was just ramming the Volkswagen Bug.
Yeah, I mean, they're
super strong.
They are. And a lot of people are, like all over the guy's case. And yeah, maybe he shouldn't have been there. He's not as egregious as some people who are like, he wasn't trying to feed him. He at least was at a distance.
Right.
But bottom line is, if they are rutting and out there, you're probably better off being inside of a car or far away. That's a good time for a telephoto lens.
Usually at Yellowstone, they're fenced in on these broad acreage things. I've never seen, well, on a couple of occasions I have. I take that back. They do wander around.
Yeah, I mean, well, they've been there for a while, and they migrate one area to another area. Like, if you don't let them do that, I think they'll like eat up all the grass and stuff, and then that gets worn out. So they've got to allow it to go. Guy took it a good spirit, so apparently he was laughing and joking.
He's okay, right? Isn't he?
He broke several bones, but
right.
he's going to survive, and he had a good attitude about it.
Okay.
Dustin saying, "Save the bison." Okay. Anyway, so interesting. Somebody in the spirit of our friend Pasha, somebody made a meme of this.
Wow.
And how the guy might handle the bisons in the future.
That's funny. The buck. Remember the buck he used to have to jump over in gymnastics class?
Oh, yeah.
He's doing the buck.
Well, it's
not the buck. Oh, I'm sorry. The buck was the leather thing, that you jumped over.
Okay. Well, this is, I guess, the iron bison. A new Olympic event in Yellowstone. So anyway, fun times. All right. Main story of the day: Lindsey Graham.
Wait,
That
let me just ask you one question. So, what is he going to talk about on the State of the Union?
there may have been some election stuff found. I don't
Oh,
know.
well, that's what you started to say. I didn't let you. Why don't
Yeah.
you finish that out? Because that's the first I'm hearing of it.
Yeah, it is being reported by a bunch of different people that there was some election malfeasance found, and I'm also seeing headlines that there 300 agents have surged into Fulton County.
Wow.
4:12 p.m. Let me get
Wow.
one to share. This is Benny Johnson talking about
Did
it.
not see that. Oh, wow.
So I don't know for sure. Like I said, I'm kind of just catching up.
Of course, insane and robs robs your sense. Robs even the most. I had to argue against this.
All right, I don't know.
What is he rambling about?
I didn't have a chance to play it through, so it's like he's not going
okay.
to the point. I don't know when he does
Right,
get to the
right,
point. But
gotcha.
here's the tweet, and I'll just read it. It's
Make a
easier.
major announcement. Okay.
Something big is coming on election fraud. 300 FBI agents have surged into Fulton County. Former ODNI Tulsi Gabbard was on the ground during the early days in the investigation. Remember, we did see her on the ground.
Yeah,
Investigators have been told to prepare for major arrests by the July 17th deadline. Timing. Now we learn that Trump is about to make a major announcement on Thursday. Georgia went from solid red state to having two Democratic senators who both won by suspiciously tight margins.
Yeah.
Are we about to find out they are both illegitimate? And that is the
Georgia has been a complete ball of confusion to me politically for years. I don't understand what you have. Atlanta, I get it, and then you're surrounded by a red state for the most part, and yet they seem to be electing Democrat after Democrat after Democrat. Although the fat black chick lost, so that was a
she did, and
she denied she lost.
Well, yes, Stacey Abrams.
Stacey Abrams
famous,
denied. She thinks she's still the governor when she's not on Star Trek.
Oh hell, there was question whether she was going to be VP.
That's right. I forgot about that.
It was between her and Kamala Harris, and
also Karen Bass, if you remember correctly. She was on the short list. You had to be a black woman. You had to be a Marxist. It's a very short list of political celebrities.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So here, I've got the clip again right here, so we can watch it. This is talking about it.
Okay.
And he's not being clear.
Around the world and around the nation are anticipating your big announcement on Thursday night regarding election machines and integrity. Can you give us sort of a sneak peek about what to expect and tell
Well, I'd rather say
Americans?
it will concern that subject, and we'll have a couple of other things to
Why
say
should people
also.
watch?
It will concern that subject, but we'll have a
Okay.
couple other things to say. So,
Well,
But I'd
I think it's
rather-
going to go ahead. I think it's going to be a mishmash of everything. But
Oh,
go
well,
on.
does Trump ever stay on?
No. If he only gave a State of the Union address about one subject, it would have more impact than 35 subjects.
I agree.
It's just common sense. I mean, and not to denounce his. He. If Reagan was the great communicator, Trump is the great miscommunicator.
He's doing the weave.
Yeah. He weaves in and out of subjects.
Anyway,
they had a big show on Rob Schmidt last night about the Butler anniversary, which is 2 years yesterday, Eric, as you're well aware.
Yeah.
Linking it to Lee Harvey Oswald in terms of this guy Crooks being a patsy, open and shut case. I mean, he makes there's a couple of people with books who came on about books on Butler. This woman who was there, and then another guy who was not there. But both are big selling books right now. I forget the name of the authors, but they made the case.
Or
no, no. Hold on, let me see that. Ken Silver. I don't know. Anyway, it was on last night, and they made the case that this is 2 years of a cover-up. A couple of people got fired, but really, we never got to the heart of the matter at all. Like, why the sniper who shot him as has contradicted himself and sworn testimony. I mean, there's so many weird, and I don't mean weird things physically right there. I'm just talking about Crooks was texting with a neo-Nazi, that year, and obviously his social media being empty is a lie, because Tucker released all those texts, about 7 months ago from Matthew Crooks, and then his parents never saying anything forever. I mean, there's just so many oddities, Eric.
Well, literally, the head of Trump's details, the head of Secret Service, and it does make you wonder. Sean, I forgot his last name. If I was the head of the detail and I got promoted to be in charge of the whole organization, I wouldn't be that far away from the bullet. I would probably be maybe twisting some arms, trying to find out what exactly happened that day.
It's bizarre how long they've let this linger. You know what I mean? And the woman author who is friends with Trump said she talked to him about it, and her impression was he wants to move on because of Comporte's death, that he doesn't want to revisit, that he feels that he caused that guy's death. And he doesn't want to dwell on it. He wants to move on. That was her only takeaway, as to her conversations with Trump as to why this is not a bigger story.
Yeah, with him, I could almost see it. Like, one of the things, the death of Lindsey Graham, I think, is coming into it. They did not always get along. They're thick as thieves now, really, really close. But they definitely didn't get along. But that's an anomaly with Trump too. Like, you said he wants to move on. Well, he is like that. He doesn't like to stay thinking about this. He's always wanting to deal with tomorrow, wanting to go ahead. He gets bored. I'm tired of this conflict. Okay, I want to move on. Everything about him
is also about the next deal.
That, and Sean Spicer said this, and I was like, God, that makes so much sense. The way to Trump's heart is to be his enemy and then become his friend. If you really look at it, he loves people that he's flipped. Like, Bill Maher rolled out the red carpet, brings them to dinner and everything else. There's nobody that Trump likes better than people who said terrible things about him.
Starmer,
whatever.
Remember when Starmer visited him a week after he was bashing him?
Yeah.
I mean,
how about J.D. Vance?
J.D. Vance,
who's the vice president, who said that he was a Nazi. I mean,
what happened to Vance's Iranian negotiations with them for the ceasefire? And he said they were cool guys.
Trump did.
Everyone's saying he's loser of the week now. J.D. Vance.
Well, it definitely it probably served Rubio well that he was really quiet. Really low profile. And then boom, here we go.
I think Vance, like you said, Trump just let him run with it. If he believed he could negotiate a deal, knock yourself out. But what a fool's errand that was.
And is, I mean, it's so built into it with the Iranians. It appears that even if you are negotiating with people in Iran who want the deal, there's too many factions that will come right along and unravel it. So you've got, and then here's another one that's weird. The Ayatollah who wants him dead, the new Ayatollah, right? Nobody's seen him yet. He wasn't at the funeral.
That's right.
So is the guy even alive? I mean,
we don't know.
He's like the perfect figurehead, and his office or whatever he is can release all kinds of statements, but nobody's ever seen the guy.
That's kind of odd.
So I really do wonder if he is.
Look, like I said before in a couple episodes back, that Nixon was being jerked around by the North Vietnamese in Paris at the Paris Peace Talks, and he opened up Operation Strongback over Cambodia and Laos with B-52 around-the-clock bombing while negotiating. He forced them back to the table to negotiate in good faith, and he didn't stop bombing until they did. I mean, unfortunately, that's what you have to do.
Which I mean, it is effective. I mean,
Yeah.
but like for example, Iran. It is really hard to deal with. I keep saying there's 80 million human shields. This is a country that throughout the 80s, people don't remember, but I mean, they went through chemical warfare. Saddam, I mean, really beat the hell out of him with our help, by the way.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
forgets that Iraq was our buddies before they were our enemies. And anyway, it's a rough crowd, and they don't care. They do.
Listen, if the
not care.
British and the American Air Forces had to worry about civilian casualties in Germany, we'd still be fighting World War II. The same with Nagasaki and Hiroshima in Japan. I mean, you can't. And were they human shields? In a way, they were also, Eric. I mean, they were human shields for those fascist regimes. So, I mean, again, it's hard to fight a war with that as your guidelines.
Also, it's hard to fight a war against a government who doesn't care at one bit about their people. Like,
right,
most other countries do care to a degree about their people, like Venezuela. Even, if we're going to do an analogy, Venezuela is to me like a good old fashioned organized crime situation. You've got a dictator, and he doesn't like his people, and he'll let people die, sure, but it's not quite the same. They're not as disposable. In Iran, I sometimes feel like they're probably happy to let the population go down a little bit. That might be less of a risk for them later. I don't know.
Yeah,
it is. It's a scary situation.
I just thought that this current bombing should have been done nonstop from the very beginning, and then negotiated for 5 minutes and then go back to bombing. There's too many big gaps here. Unless Eric's right about the munitions, then all bets are off.
I just I've had that feeling for a while, that especially, then you ramp up, you build it, backup supplies, especially because how many of our munitions went to Ukraine?
I don't know.
Biden.
I don't know.
We've shipped out so much stuff, and then we have to buy so much from China, which is just bonkers. If we ever were in a war with China, it would be literally saying, hold on, China, can we buy some more bullets?
Well, it's also smelting of lead that they do over there for the bullets. I mean, we don't have these giant industrial smelters. I just want to say the word smelter any longer to make bullets. I know there's a lot of gun advocates out there who know more about this, but I remember during COVID how there was no ammo in any of the stores. They limited it to 1 box per customer, and it was because of China.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is just bonkers. I mean, it's like there are some things where it really does make sense. We should manufacture here, or at least a lot of it here. I understand if you're saying, okay, we want to have a competitive environment, we'll buy from different areas, buy from Mexico, buy from wherever else, but it's crazy. All right, so the big death over the weekend, Lindsey Graham. I've got a little clip here. We've got his sister.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which you are about to enter?
Everybody who wants to bust my balls for reading super chats, just consider this for a second, because I could be doing better than that.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, Grassley, is that Grassley? Yeah.
I think so. It looks like Chuck Grassley.
He's been around for a while, so he wants to get it right, I think.
I understand.
So help you God.
I do.
Now get in that office right now. Come on, lady.
I mean, I don't completely disagree with it, because Trump needs his, I hate to say, a yes person, and that's probably the best out there.
Well,
and there was a
it's
lot
also
of speculation.
temporary, right, Eric? I mean,
it is. It's only till January. It's got a nice symbolic gesture, and apparently it could have been a challenge because they were like, okay, who is he going to put up for the job? And there was the runner-up in the governor election that Trump actually endorsed. I didn't know he endorsed a woman and then endorsed a guy after he endorsed the woman.
That was confusing. That
Anyway,
was a confusing one.
Apparently he already had endorsed her, but people are saying, hey, you have to set up an office and everything else, and you've got to run an election. It's kind of confusing.
Right.
So having a caretaker or just somebody in there, it's not the worst. It's not the worst idea. And I have a feeling that Trump will probably get whatever vote he wants out of her.
I think you're right in the short time period, right?
Yeah, for the 6 months, sure.
6 months, yeah. What is she going to do? She doesn't know how to do it. So I don't know. Maybe she's a lawyer. I don't know her background.
I don't know, but apparently she has never served public office. That part
okay, well, that's a breath of fresh air. Either did Trump until 2017.
Well, there is that. There is that. And then, but here is somebody who would love to have the job, but doubtfully will get it. And that is our friend Nancy Mace. And this I just thought was funny. I hope there's a clip with it.
I want to ask you about what that means for your own personal chances. I mean, look,
Oh, come on.
sister should get it, and the governor acts. I mean, look, he says, I think his daughter, his sister should get it, and the governor acts right away. So clearly, the president has a big footprint in South Carolina.
He does.
He does not see you as someone who does what he tells them to do. I believe that you vote with him very consistently. Epstein, there was a break, and I think it was a righteous break on your behalf. But could that be enough to ruin your chances?
It may have ended my political career, Chris. I mean, that's the the calculation that when I take votes. And let's be honest, I didn't go to Washington to take orders from anybody, which is why you do see me scuffle from time to time.
Okay, so
Well, shocking.
I like her spin on that. Isn't that great? Her bid on Epstein may have cost her the political career with Trump. Maybe, just maybe. I'll put this out there. Maybe her own stupid ass tweet here that she put out. Literally, Lindsey hasn't been dead or hasn't been reported for more than a couple
She's
hours.
so tone deaf.
She wrote,
she's so tone deaf, bro.
just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in because Nancy Mace, everybody was saying, oh my God, it's a chance to have Nancy Mace in the Senate. Oh, thank you.
Weird.
I mean, maybe that's why you have no chance whatsoever if you're going to put this kind of stupid shit out.
Well, it's funny because the Democrats are now screaming that they've appointed a relative of the dead senator. They're going berserk over this.
Whatever.
No, I just want to point out that
it.
Lindsey Boggs, Democrat from Louisiana, succeeded her dead husband. Cardis Collins, Democrat from Illinois. Louis Capps, Democrat from California. Mary Bono, Democrat from California, was a Republican. Doris Matsui, Democrat, succeeded her husband after his death. There is over 45 examples of this in American recent history of women having no connection to the office, being appointed after their husbands died.
In Missouri, I don't know.
Missouri is one also. That's right.
Okay, because I remember a wife. I mean,
you're talking about Carnahan, Gene Carnahan.
Carnahan, yeah.
That was another one. That was another one.
And that was like 2 days after he died.
I got another one. How about Muriel Humphrey, Hubert Humphrey's wife? I mean, Marianne Pittman. I mean, 90% of them are Democrats, by the way.
Well, but that's okay, Mark.
I'm just saying.
It's similar to the Plattner situation. Obviously, if a Republican woman has a sexual assault, that's ludicrous. But then if a Democrat reports it, then we got to take it seriously. So,
yeah. Well, whatever. The point is, this is not unusual in American history to do this. Is the only point I was trying to make about the appointment of her as a caretaker.
Right, and for 6 months. It's like, okay. I mean, it is not the worst situation I've ever heard of. And I think Carnahan, I forgot the name, but I think she served the entire term because if I recall, he died right before taking office.
Some of them got elected on their own afterwards. I'm not. But again, their only qualification was their husband was dead and used to hold this office.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
and I am the mother of his children.
I agree. I agree. It is wild. Speaking of wild, I had it pulled up a minute ago, but what do you think about our friend Mitch McConnell?
Wait, I just want, before we leave the situation with Lindsey Graham, who killed him or what killed him? Because the FBI has gone into his home and seized everything in his home, every computer, every recording device, everything, the smart TV. They've taken everything from his house as if he was under investigation. They're claiming they're investigating the abstract nature of his death, but you've got a lot of people who called for his death, including the Iranians, Eric, including people in Ukraine, including people in Russia.
Oh yeah, he was a very little thought of figure in a lot of the world. Absolutely. Right. And to be fair, I think that was the responsible thing to do. I mean, that's what I would hope. You know, we're just complaining about Butler and all that. I think that's great.
No,
lock it down,
agree,
get every bit of evidence out of there.
I just don't want to have this story go away and then have the massive funeral overtake it and the story getting buried. It's a huge story. I mean, there's posters of him in Iran, you know, with the target, and clearly the Russians had a problem with him, and elements in Ukraine had a problem with him because he was coming back from Zelensky to tell Trump that he told him to end this conflict, and Zelensky was not happy about it.
That's true. Now, the irony that was brought up, and one of the reasons that his death can be a giant problem for Trump is it was speculated that the only person who could tell Zelensky it's time, you're gonna have to hang it up, it's time, is Lindsey Graham, or was Lindsey Graham.
I don't know. I mean, Rubio could go over there and do the same thing. I think Zelensky didn't want to hang it up, and that's the message that he was bringing back, that Lindsey Graham was giving to him, that, like you're saying, you got to hang it up. It's over, buddy. So again, all I'm saying is there's a lot of suspects.
There are, and then there's the overriding thing, and I have to acknowledge and put it out there that they are saying, yeah, he had a heart condition. And there is, you know, there is information coming out where a staffer apparently was talking to him, and you know, he wasn't feeling well. He was scheduling his day for the, you know, events he was going to be on, Meet the Press and all the, you know, all the Sunday shows. And the staffer's like, yeah, you should go get it checked out. He said, I will when we're done with the shows.
Okay.
And then, you know, he was dead. And supposedly Trump even said that he had a condition that was the same condition as his father.
Right. But I mean, again, Trump could be rather self-serving too. He wants this conspiracy thing to go away. That's the last thing he needs with all the stuff on his plate, Eric, is to have a conspiracy. And, you know, Laura Loomer and Kash Patel apparently think differently.
Well, I know Laura Loomer does.
Despite what Trump, you know, is turning the page again, as we talked about earlier.
Well, it can be, but I don't want to be. Hey, same time I'm critical about Candace Owens. I want to be modulated and you know, really look into it and see. But here's
how about a toxicology report? Would you accept that?
Well, I'm waiting for it.
You're never going to get one, bro. I'm going to predict it right now on this show. You're never getting a toxicology report.
Okay.
Sticking my neck out on this thing. I just have a feeling you're never going to get it.
All right. Well, we'll find out. And even if I do, then I'll hear about the exotic poison that is used by these countries.
It could be. I don't know. But I mean, you really do need to have a toxicology report, because they've killed people in these countries through similar manners that look like a heart attack, as everyone damn well knows.
Yes. Yes. And some of it's nearly impossible to pick up on the toxicology.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well. I agree. So, I agree.
But here's Trump on it.
Are you aware of why the FBI is looking into Senator Graham's death? Have you gotten any updates on why they were at his home?
Well, I don't know why, because I think, you know, he had problem. His father had a very similar problem, as you know. It's very unique. At first, I heard it was clogged arteries, because he did have clogged arteries. He had a problem with that. He was. I wish he took better care of himself. I say, you can
He's not
solve that
address
problem,
it.
but what happened is actually something that's very hard to detect. It was not related to any blockage. It was a totally different thing. And supposedly, and I've watched all the medical reports, I've had the doctors from the White House come in and explain what happened. And this is something that is almost undetectable. And if it happens, there's not much you can do about it. It sounds unfortunate, but there's not much you can do about it. If you look at his father died of the same thing at about the same age. So there was not much. They say it's almost undetectable. You can detect it by if you have a very bad back. That's
Totally full of shit. He's just spinning it. He's just so full of shit here. He wants this to go away. Nobody's buying this bullshit. I'm sorry. No pundit, not even Larry O'Connor. I mean, Larry O'Connor, who is a fairly mainstream rhino Republican.
He's not a rhino.
Rhino type Republican.
All right. Well, it's a very specific term. So,
well, he doesn't believe in election fraud. What would you make of that?
Well, okay, but if somebody doesn't, walk down the 100% of the line, doesn't make him a Republican in name only. That's literally what a rhino.
Well, he is an old school Republican. Let me rephrase that.
Okay.
He's an old school Republican, and he's not buying this.
Okay. Well,
this is not a wild conspiracy theory. This is this is a lot of legitimate pundits are going down this road. It has nothing to do with Candace Owens.
Okay. Well, fair enough. Here's the problem. I'm not going to go out and say that a guy who partied all the time, had big issues and everything else at 71 years old and, not caring for themselves, notably, if he dropped dead, any other person on the planet dropped dead at the same time, we'd be like, well, that's a shame. Maybe he should.
The only problem is you're hearing of
it could have been a poison. And if you can't prove it's a poison, then what are we doing?
Nothing. We're not going to do anything. The deep state of other countries has now killed a United States senator, and we're not going to lift a fucking finger because of the explanation you're making, which is rational.
Right.
Like, what are you going to do about it? Even if he is poisoned, so what? Now you got his sister in there. You got to move on. It's making your point about Trump that he likes to move on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if the guy if Trump didn't like to move on, he would be completely paralyzed. Like, if I faced what Trump faced, I would be crawling under my bed, probably going, please don't.
By the way,
the
word on the street is the seizure of the communications devices was to protect his closeted homosexuality. I mean, that's
sure. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that's the word on the street. And they didn't want anybody to get this information to smear him. And that's why the FBI went in there. We saw a similar situation with the FBI with Hoover when he died, how they went into his safe and got the stuff out of there as soon as possible. We saw the same thing with JFK, how Robert Kennedy got the stuff out of there as soon as possible. It's quite typical that this happens, but I thought the FBI would do it much quieter than going in there with gangbusters.
Well, I think that the gangbusters is perfectly fine, because why not say we are taking this shit very, very, very seriously? Also, if you go in hot, I think sometimes they do things not necessarily for you or me, but for people who could be a little nervous, that could be involved with some sort of thing going. So they go in there hot, and meanwhile they're watching all these other people and then see who spooks,
that's
who does something.
That's a good point, but they're going to have to explain themselves at some point publicly. Kash Patel and the FBI.
I don't know. I think.
What did you find? Why did you go in? Why did you feel the need to go into a senator's house who passed away? Other senators have died. Other congressmen have recently died. Did you do the same thing? I mean, there's some basic journalistic questions here that need to be answered. What was your motivation? Who ordered you to do it? Whose idea was to do this? When did you decide to do this? What did you get? Where's the stuff you did retrieve?
I mean, a very easy answer he could say,
National
and you
security.
might disagree with, is in the case of Lindsey Graham, different than Mitch McConnell. Let's say
Good example.
Well, and I'm bringing him up, but anyway,
Yeah.
Unlike Mitch McConnell did not have his name declared on a death threat in the middle of a conflict at this exact time.
Good point.
He was not a prime enemy of Russia with Putin, with people who believe or don't believe, likes to poison people who are against him. A lot of people died of really nasty poisonings that Putin had an issue with. It could be a coincidence, but it does happen. So just that right there, there were known legitimate threats, legitimate fatwa on him. I think it makes
Okay. Well,
you freeze all assets and just make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they have to say that, Eric. They have to come out and say what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I could pontificate about it till the end of time. It doesn't make it an official act of the FBI.
Sure. But I definitely don't mind the FBI actually going in and potentially doing their job. Now, you're right. They could have the added benefit.
Let me flip the script. You're right. Let me flip the script. Chuck Schumer dies. They raid his house and take all his shit. You think people would go crazy?
Probably.
I'm just saying. Saying they would go batshit fucking crazy if Chuck Schumer, with all the intelligence he has, and I don't mean IQ, I mean intelligence documents and everything else as the minority leader, I think the left would go batshit fucking crazy.
Potentially, yes, because of Cash Patel and whatever. I mean, ironically, if it was James Comey, they would go less crazy.
Right.
So there is that political divide there. And, I will throw it back. If, Chuck Schumer was just coming back from Ukraine and the negotiation and there were literally potential hits on his life.
Yeah.
There is enough of a 100% legitimate law enforcement reason to freeze everything. But we'll find out.
We'll find out. Yeah, we'll find out.
Or we won't.
Did you read about the death threats to the Supreme Court Justice, the conservative woman?
Amy Coney Barrett. I was going to pull that up.
Okay, good. Yeah, that was a weird one.
Second,
go ahead.
Because while we're in the conspiracy mode or whatever you want to put it, I thought this was funny that the WAPO fact checked the hospital photo featuring the newspaper, and I think with good reason. McConnell and I think it might have been Sean Spicer actually who said it, but he's right. He goes, the same device that took this picture, you could hit the record button and have him say a sentence or two.
Yeah, they said that on two-way also. Larry was saying that.
Maybe that was it. Whatever. I get confused, but
no.
Why do you have him holding a newspaper like that? It's
a hostage video. It's a hostage photo. They did the same thing in the Lindbergh kidnapping.
Exactly.
He could be in China right now, for all we know, with this Chinese woman.
Yeah, and by the way, this is a pose. Is he even moving? Like, you remember in the late 1800s, early 1900s, they would pose with the recently dead.
Oh yeah. Very creepy.
I'm just pointing out that
very creepy. What's the date on the newspaper? Has the Washington Post analyzed that?
Yes. Supposedly that was the paper from Sunday or whenever it was taken. I mean, it's so obviously placed. It's like, really? I mean,
we don't know if this is AI or not. I mean, just because he has 6 fingers doesn't make that AI.
You were listening to 2A. I did hear that part, but yeah. Even Halpern, who was going on about that, but
I mean, these are not conspiracy-minded people. The reason I am. But when I start hearing it from mainstream pundits about McConnell and Lindsey Graham, that's a bird of a different feather.
Well, that's true. And here for Sunshine, this is for you, Sunshine. There you go. Here's the headline.
I'm just going to take a drink. Right.
Hospital a photo featuring paper with definitive findings. Okay.
Sunshine, we have 500 stories to do, Sunshine. Catch up or move on. Let's go, lady. Let's go. Chop.
Anyway,
leave it up there for days. Give me a break.
Anyway, there you go. And
what happens now? I mean, what happens to the Save America Act? Does Cho become McConnell's voter? I mean, if does Cho get the same thing here? Does communist China have a senator when and if this guy croaks?
There's news about the Save America Act.
Okay.
So you bring that up.
Okay.
And okay. Remember what we were complaining about, what they were doing last time?
With the trans part of the bill?
Right.
Drove me insane.
They slapped some shit in there. So, okay. Here is the current status of the Save America Act as of today in the House.
215, 211. Okay, that looks good. Yay, nay.
Yes, it
on
passed.
this vote, the yeas are 215, the nays are 211.
Well, didn't they pass
the
this
resolution
before?
is adopted.
Yes.
Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Yeah.
All right, so that's in the House. But
yeah,
but hold on. Don't get too excited, Mark, because it's got to go to Senate and they need 60 votes. They need 60 votes in the Senate.
Well, that's your opinion. I think.
Well, I'm just telling you, it is what it is. But what they're going to do is they're forcing the Save America Act into must-pass national security funding legislation on top of stopping the seasonal clock change.
Oh my God.
So they're jamming shit together.
Yeah.
Again, we've already been through this, but
the general takeaway from this entire debacle is to run out the clock on the midterms without enacting the Save America Act. If I could sum it up in one sentence, I believe that's what we've been seeing through this sausage making, intentional sausage making, stalling, running out the clock, four corners, Indiana University. I mean, this is a attempt to just muddle this thing and run out the midterm clock, in my humble opinion.
Well, it's looking more that way because when you keep doing little bullshit like that, eventually you one time, maybe twice could be mistakes, but after a while you have to say, no, that's intentional. That's a strategy. There's a deliberate sabotage or poison pill being put in.
Again, the pressure on Thune seems to be zero. Zero pressure, zero political pressure, zero social pressure, zero pressure on his private life. Nothing seems to move the needle to pressure people like LBJ and other great manipulators of the Congress used to do.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And we see it again, though. Mike Johnson manages to squeeze out a majority.
He's old school, bro. He's totally old school.
He's pretty damn good. I'm like, I mean, the guy has like 1 or 2 seats and he manages to pull out thing after thing after thing after thing. And then you have a very clear majority in the Senate. And it's like, oh, I just didn't know what to do.
Well, they won't get rid of the filibuster despite Trump's urging. And they won't take this bill by itself, the Save America Act, and vote on it by itself. Again, what is so draconian, so crazy about the Save America Act that it needs this type of torture? You would think they were passing something, World War III bill or something. It's common sense. 80 to 90% of the American people want this to happen. Only John Thune stands between us and a democracy, Eric. This piece of shit who nobody seems to be able to attack for reasons that I don't understand is stopping the passing of something the entire country wants. That's a simple summation, but true.
Yeah, I agree. And why are you shoving things in? Like, I honestly, when I heard daylight saving time, I was like, what? Because I've been bitching about that for 5-6 years. Because remember, it passed unanimously. It's been on and on and on. And of course, unfortunately, they're probably going to push it through, and they're doing it backward because it really should be like Arizona time, which is standard time year round. Not daylight saving time year round, because people don't realize that in 1974, they already did permanent daylight saving time. It lasted from March until October that year because people hated it so damn much. Because
Again, what does this have to do? What does this have to do with the Save America Act? Is your question? Right. That's the whole point. They're trying to smush this together to muddle it.
And it's crazy. Now you mentioned Amy Coney Barrett. I had another clip I want to play.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, we've got Maine in there, and it's like, hey, Susan Collins is actually talking. And it's in response to that and kind of going after Chuck Schumer in her own way. So
38% increase in the number of threats, that it is increasingly dangerous to be a Supreme Court justice these days. And it's appalling to me that some of the rhetoric is coming from public officials on both sides of the aisle who should know better than to levy personal and political attacks against the judiciary and the court specifically. For example, a senator stood in front of the Supreme Court building and called out 2 members by name, saying that they had released the whirlwind and that they will pay the price. Other public officials.
That was Chuck Schumer. I forgot about it, but remember?
Why? How could you forget about that?
Well, because I mean, a few things have happened. I've slept since then.
Okay.
I have technically.
I mean, they've run that clip 9 million fucking times till it's and rightfully so. Rightfully so that clip has been run to death. But there's much more to it, Eric. I mean, there should be permanent military guards on the homes of the Supreme Court justices. They refuse to prosecute anyone that trespasses against the law onto Supreme Court justices' property, which is a separate law just about the justices. Nobody gets prosecuted. What do they expect? Why would anybody stop doing it? It's almost like carte blanche. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it is crazy, too, because if you think about it, it may be the most important thing that a president can do, who they put up there. So, right. I mean, you want to talk about undemocratic vote to take out your political enemies. But let's look at Amy.
The statistics sound abstract, but being on the receiving end of them is not. So I thought I would just share a little bit about how the threats have affected me and my family personally. They have required me to, my children, to think about and see things that children should not have to see or think about. One example is when threats to my life were particularly intense a few years ago around the time of the Dobbs leak. My security detail sent me home with a bulletproof vest, and I carried it into my house, put it into my bedroom, dropped it down on a table, turned around, and my 12-year-old son was standing in the doorway of my bedroom, and he wanted to know what it was and why I had it. And I didn't know how to respond because maybe I lack imagination, but I didn't expect that performing this service was going to put me in the position of explaining to my children what a bulletproof vest was and why I had to wear one. It's also been reported in the news that roughly 6 weeks ago, I was the victim of a swatting incident. At that point, my teenage son, one of my teenage sons, opened the door to go out with friends and saw in our street, it was full of police cars who had responded to a false report of gunshots and raised voices in my home. I was very, very grateful that I had Supreme Court police outside my home because they were able to stop and meet with and explain to the county police that it had been a false alarm. And so the police did not actually attempt to enter our home.
Anyway, I do not understand how no one has ever been apprehended in this not just in this case, but in Tim Pool and hundreds of other cases of swatting.
Well, there have been people apprehended because I think one of the people tied with Tim Pool in the quartering went away for 20 some odd years.
Yeah.
So there have been some.
I mean, the technology is there, I presume, Eric, to resolve this.
It is, and it's not the same technology that can detect it as the technology that can hide it. You know, with all the VPNs, and unfortunately, the people who are doing the swatting quite often are extremely technically proficient, and they're bouncing it all around the planet. Then you have cases where you could have somebody in a hostile foreign nation doing a swatting attack, and what are you going to do about it? Because again, are you going to send somebody into the nation? They're not going to give them up. They're not going to arrest them. You know, somebody in Russia could be doing whatever, and that they're probably not going to send them over. Or North Korea. North Korea has an entire industry of hackers, and that's what they do. So it is tough. And fortunately or unfortunately, a lot of times it is an American. And when it is an American, then the probably.
Yeah, I think if it happened to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, there might be a different result.
I don't know. Well, you know what? Looking at the chat here, and by the way, because we're saying that a Supreme Court justice shouldn't be threatened and she happened to be testifying, doesn't mean we're fans of Amy Coney Barrett. I'm looking at the chat saying, well, you should just shop. Yeah, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the court.
There's a mental retard. See, don't waste your time. What else you got over there?
Well, that's the story. But you mentioned mental retards. So I must segue based.
I wonder if there's
that.
other kinds of retards other than mental. They seem to go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Well, yeah, it's a good term.
Mental retard. It's like one word.
Yeah, and Sam Neill just passed away.
Oh yeah.
And this guy, speaking of mental retards, gave a sort of a tribute to him, which really was kind of a tribute to himself,
right?
While talking about Sam Neill. So
yeah.
Douchebag of the year.
I just wanted to come on here quickly and say
something about myself.
How
I feel
stricken I was to learn of the death of Sam Neill.
I couldn't go on.
When I did The Hunt for Red October, we shot in '89. It came out in 1990.
I had a big part in that. I was a
star.
star.
That was probably my first big movie in terms of having.
I was the biggest movie I'd done.
Because I'd done Working Girl and Beetlejuice and things like that.
Let me go back to Beetlejuice for a moment, if I.
And I do Hunt for Red October, and
there's Sam Neill.
Yes, John is a great director, and one of the most exciting parts of it was to meet Tom Clancy, but the cast.
What happened to Sam Neill?
I've had great cast. I've worked with great people.
He's dead, for God's sakes.
Tony and
he's 46 seconds in.
Meryl and so many other people that I really admired and do admire. But I mean, my God, Hunt for Red October. I had to write this down. I had to go to the internet and write. I mean, obviously Sean, Larry Ferguson, Scott Glenn.
Right. Look at the cast. These people I work with.
Tim Curry. James Earl Jones. Peter Firth, Richard Jordan, Joss Auckland.
Are they all dead?
Vance, Danny Davis, Fred Thompson,
the senator.
Jeffrey Jones, Ron Gutman,
Jeffrey
Stellan
Jones,
Skarsgård, and that's just the more recognizable names. There's a lot of other people in there.
I can read the art credits. The art credits, if you like. Sam Neill's dead.
What an experience it was. Gotta get rid of somebody who's calling me. What an experience it was to do that movie with those people. I mean, every time you turned around to do a scene, you were with this great actor. I mean,
is this an anniversary of Hunt for Red October?
Ron Gutman's a perfect example. But I can't even stop thinking. To this day, he's smoking a cigarette. He's going to do.
This is the best.
Who the hell is Gutman? How did Gutman get involved in this? What was he, the gaffer?
I don't know. He said Sam Neill in the first sentence.
That was it. He never went back to Sam Neill ever again.
I want to see if he does. There's 50 seconds left.
He never goes back, bro.
50 seconds. Let's see.
To work for them, the Russians, and he's like, una minuta, he says. Una minuta. Anyway, I know that sounds weird, but it's like, I told you to speak your mind, but my God, Jack. James Earl Jones. Wow. Richard Jordan in that scene in the conference room.
Oh, that was a great scene.
Everybody
was in on it.
Courtney Vance calling him Seaman Beaumont. I mean, I remember that. I remember that's one of the few movies I've ever done where I remember the whole movie.
The whole movie.
That's what a fan I am of that work. Not me. I'm not a fan of my work, but I'm a fan of their work.
Their work.
Anyway, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a great day.
My God, Sam Neill.
I gotta get my eyes
family. I love to his family.
Oh my God, what a bookend that was. Way to go, Baggy Eyes. Boy, he is a piece of work. You got to hand it to him. This is one douche that keeps on douching.
Oh my God, yes.
Always get your money's worth from Alec Baldwin.
You think? Anyway, that just cracks me up. That is the worst tribute I have ever seen.
And I'll add something else. They'll forget to list his name during the Oscars.
Oh, you say forget.
Yeah.
You know, again, sometimes there's an accident.
Right.
and
Sometimes
then
it's
there's a
intentional.
pattern.
Yeah.
and it seems like these patterns always come up in weird ways. But seemed like a really cool guy, nice guy. I mean, you know, obviously he's going to be missed. He seems to be a bit more of a low key guy, and that's probably why so many people could think of him fondly. I've got this clip here, and let's see. I don't care about boosting visibility, X. Thank you.
Thank you.
Every year.
All right, so this is a pretty funny.
Absolutely hysterical. Well, they thought he was cancer free for a while, and then it came back.
April. He announced it in April.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I remember that.
I don't.
You know, I have about 30 to 40.
Anyway, seemed like a nice guy. I thought that was a nice, you know, segment and good.
Better than Baldwin's tribute, I'll tell you that.
Oh, good God. A nice piece of dry humor.
It's almost like you got to hire him to do a cameo if you're a celebrity to get an Alec Baldwin cameo video of your tribute, where he just rambles on for 2 minutes and your relatives pay for it.
Well, when people do die around Alec Baldwin, and
you get the Alec Baldwin treatment,
and they pay for it. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not that I don't need the money. I do need the money, Eric.
Yeah, he does.
I'm selling all my houses immediately. Everything's got to go.
Yeah, bargain price.
But he's still on the hook in New Mexico, right?
Well, yeah, they are going to be going forward with the civil trial, trials. I don't even know how many cases there are. I mean, Gloria Allred, she doesn't go away. You're not going to just kick her off.
She's a junkyard dog.
Yeah. I mean, if she's like, a pig in truffles.
You know, this lawyer friend of mine from Beverly Hills told me that he has private eyes all over the country that suss out and interface with potential clients day and night for anything, mostly for women stuff, but she's quite willing to go after Michael Richards or, other people who are celebrities who might have deep pockets. So she's got an army out there.
Of course. That's, I mean, it's not completely surprising. It makes a whole lot of sense. Now, here's a celebrity that doesn't come off as much of a douchebag, and I do appreciate, especially because, you got Bruce Springsteen, who can't ever shut up.
That's right.
He's going out there, and I'm like, well, how about somebody who's a bigger name than Bruce Springsteen?
Bigger than Springsteen? I find that hard to believe.
I'm going to say this guy is. I'm going to say Mick Jagger.
Oh, start me up.
It says fans don't want political lectures at concerts after Bruce Springsteen's anti-Trump speeches.
Wow, just needs a little brown sugar.
And I appreciate his line. He was in a New York Times interview segment.
I think he's got a memoir coming out, by the way.
Oh yeah. He's doing the rounds. But anyway, here he is. The bottom line of my thing really is that my job in the live music world is for those people who come to have the best time they possibly can for 2 hours or whatever it is, to forget all their problems and the problems of the world and their mortgages and whatever. Just give them the best time they can have.
Well, he sees it differently, Springsteen. He sees it as a captive prisoner audience that has paid $1,500 to $5,000 to hear him rant and lecture. Even though they're booing him, even though they're yelling out, get on with the fucking music, nothing stops Springsteen from lecturing them about his personal politics.
That's true. By the way, in the same interview, it's funny because a New York Times reporter slipped something to Jagger, trying to kind of trap him, and he didn't expect the response. And it's about Elon Musk, and it's a similar principle.
Why we want to clear things up? Why we're talking about clearing things up? So I said to you at the beginning before we record, I said, well, now the record's been reviewed everywhere, a lot of reviews for it, and I got literally lots of nice reviews. It's weird how people though they give you really. I mean, it's gotten some great reviews, and I'm really appreciative of that.
Something's nagging at you. What is it?
No, I'm not. It's not nagging. It's just that people they hear one word but they don't really listen to the line. So it's like. So
we don't know anything about that, Mark, right? Nobody ever interprets one word.
Oh man, does that happen all the time?
And sees on that, and all
it must be some new psychological disease because Jagger's now pointing it out as well.
Yeah.
Mick Jagger has a go at Elon Musk. Well, you're not listening to the line. You're only listening to Musk. That's all you're hearing. Yeah. Musk. He must be having a go at him. I do call him mad.
Right. I mean, and he's the one person you name on the whole album. No other person.
He's name checked. Yeah. The only name check.
It seems like it would have some importance.
Yeah. But the funny thing is,
name check, like the kids say these days. I'm sorry.
Name check.
When I wrote that, I was like, I was thinking that because of him, they were able to get those astronauts back, that was stuck. Because he provided the transportation, because NASA couldn't provide the transportation. So that line, the line of the song is about when I was a kid, we used to want to go to Mars and everything. And then I said, who would you trust to get you into space? Would you trust Boeing, or was it NASA, or was it mad mogul Mr. Musk? So it's really a sidewinding compliment, because he was the one that I remembered was able to do that when the others couldn't.
Yeah. Well, that's what you get for using the adjective mad.
And mogul on the left here. What? Is he a deflated Rob Riggle on the left?
Maybe. I don't know. Some New York Times.
Well, I mean, Jagger has name dropped before. I mean, look at the lyrics to Sympathy for the Devil. There's a lot of famous names in that song.
And it's a good alliteration. That Elon Musk, because everybody's on Elon Musk's shit. That's a pretty good line and a good demonstration. But talk about taking it.
I was surprised to see him liking my tweets yesterday on my Twitter account. That was surprising.
Which
that caught me off guard. I'll tell you that much. Mad Musk apparently watching my Twitter account like a hawk.
There you go. Anyway, one company that apparently is not having a good time of things is my screen's going wonky. Taco Bell.
That's terrible.
I mean, it's like a headline that writes itself. But anyway, Taco Bell probed an explosive diarrhea outbreak.
Oh, that's not good. That happens at Chipotle all the time.
Well, apparently it is happening here, and they're having problems with their leafy lettuce.
Oh, it's always the lettuce.
Let me see.
Just so you know, these migrants defecate in the field while they're picking lettuce or whatever vegetable it is, because they don't have portisans every 10 feet.
Yeah, it's called cyclospora.
Yeah.
And apparently the way it transmits is fecal matter.
Yeah.
So,
well, the fecal matter comes from
the damn produce.
The fecal matter comes from the pickers, who, I'm just trying to be specific, who are defecating in the field because there's nowhere to go. And then that gets on the lettuce and it gets shipped to you in Boise, Idaho.
This is true. Did you see this article here? And I'm curious your thoughts about Trump admin this is stuff I don't care for him doing, but anyway. Trump admin subpoenas New York Times reporters after claiming Perez swapped out the $400 million Air Force One during
I don't get it. I don't understand this. Why is this one so important? He did swap it out. Again, they didn't make this up.
No, I don't think they did. And I think
why this story? Is he super sensitive to the Qataris?
I think he's thin-skinned about it, and I think it is a fair criticism. I just heard, saying because he wanted a luxury plane and all of that, put himself and the country in danger potentially.
I agree.
And that was a bit irresponsible.
I agree. I agree with you. I don't know what he's going to get out of these two reporters. What are they going to say? Where they got the story from?
Well, and I don't know that they necessarily have to
no
give it. And I mean, was this classified information? I don't know.
I don't know.
There are many people who are watchers, plane watchers, who could physically take binoculars and probably say, I can't, but there are those who go,
oh yeah,
that's a different plane. Because
the Brits do that all the time over there. They like to go to airports and read tail numbers.
Exactly. So, I mean, there are people out there who could have just visually identified the damn thing, and that would have nothing to do with intelligence. And
for sure.
Obvious.
I mean, I've seen his plane at when I'm in Palm Beach. I see it at the airport.
Yeah.
The Air Force One. Everybody sees it when you're in Palm Beach.
Anyway, so yeah, I don't know what to think about that.
By the way, they're going crazy that they renamed the airport now to Donald Trump Palm Springs International, Palm Beach International Airport. Donald Trump. They interviewed a bunch of people getting off the plane going, "This is bullshit. I can't live like this."
What shocked me is that they also added a second code. So I was looking to see, I'm like, let me check on flights to West Palm later. And it comes up as PBI and DJT.
Oh, eventually it'll switch over though.
So it's going to have to switch over completely.
Yeah,
I just thought that was very interesting.
You could look at the same thing from Idlewild Airport to JFK back in the day. It didn't happen overnight. There was plenty of Idlewild signs everywhere, and eventually JFK replaced it.
I'm kind of wondering if they may just keep both of them permanently, though. And the
Highly
reason the reason why I say that is here is Newport News International Airport, and its airport code is PHF, which is Patrick Henry Field, which is the old name for the airport. And there are other airports that have weird initials that don't seem to have anything to do with the name of the airport.
That's true.
So for historical record, it may make sense to leave it.
I got a good one for you. LAX. Nobody knows. It means nothing.
Well, yeah,
absolutely meaningless. 3-letter phrase has LA and X in it, and no one has ever deciphered what that means.
Is it the X because it's what, LA International?
No, absolutely not. Every article ever written about this thing says there's no rhyme or reason for the 3-letter code for LAX.
Okay, well, there you go. Saw this go by. I had mentioned it, I think, briefly. I don't know, it was here on Locals, but JD Vance, they were saying, I think on two-way, that he was looking for a place in Williamsburg.
And
I saw somewhere else that, I said it. I also saw it was somewhere else. Well, apparently they did get a place. It is not in Williamsburg. It's in Middleburg, Virginia.
Middleburg. Oh, okay.
An affluent rural enclave located a little more than an hour from Washington, D.C.
Okay.
So I don't know the deal. I guess he's going to have the wife and kids out at the farm or whatever while he's in office.
It's better than having a townhouse across from the White House. I'll tell you that much, like Obama does.
I guess. But either way, he's there. I mean,
he's going to send his kids to some school probably that's nearby private that we don't know about.
True. I don't know if you saw this story, which I think is kind of cool. Trump administration and specifically Marco Rubio launches an effort to isolate International Criminal Court.
Interesting. I like that.
So essentially,
what does isolate mean, though? What is that?
Okay. The Trump administration is launching an effort to dismantle what he calls the threat to U.S. sovereignty by the International Criminal Court, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said on Monday.
Interesting.
And we've had a problem with them, like trying to levy this and that. And, it's kind of a joke. But the State Department said this: no diplomatic option will be off limits in the campaign to dismantle the threat posed by the ICC to Americans, the State Department said in a statement.
Love that.
And he wrote an article for the Wall Street Journal on Monday citing calls from activists and others for the court to prosecute U.S. personnel including over the Trump administration's deportation of migrants and U.S. strikes on boats that the officials say are carrying narcotics. Quote, as we speak, the ICC and its friends are waging a war against our country, not with bullets and missiles, but with statutes, compacts, and the force of so-called international law, he said in his video message.
Wow.
So this has been long an issue. I'd like to see where it's going to go, but it, makes me think of like the bullshit UN sanctions that are, always being put out, and
well, or threatening to try Netanyahu if he's captured in Western Europe.
It's always the Netanyahu. I mean, that's the easiest low-hanging fruit example, and part of the problem with these courts. It's like, how many countries are Muslim controlled, and how many are Jewish controlled? I'll help everybody out. There's, I think, one
that's a rough
Jewish
one.
control.
Let me think.
There's what's claimed. There's what's claimed, but then there's reality, which is often the opposite of what's claimed. Do you think you're going to have a problem where there's a bunch of other countries who are going to gang up and bully one particular country?
Yeah, it's got to go. It's got to go. But speaking of going, apparently this Fetterman may be going to another party, Eric, from what I read last night.
Well, he's working with, is it McCormick?
Yeah, they hooked up for fundraising now.
I think that makes sense.
Strange bedfellows, my friend.
The last sane Democrat. It is what we have.
It may be untenable for him to continue his career as a Democrat.
Oh, it is. They're going to.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, what do you do? He's not 80 years old. I mean, by the way, a known Jewish person.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if he was actually.
There's also Shapiro.
Jewish, but yeah,
Shapiro is also in that state. All of these people, Pritzker. I mean, the Democratic Jewish list of unelectable people seems to dominate. No, but I'm saying like Mark Halpern was saying, there's like 6 of them.
Yeah,
who are in the top 10.
Right, but then Halpern is going along and agreeing with somebody that called in, complaining about the fact that, the people doing the negotiations with Iran. It's like, what are you doing having Jews doing negotiations? Why is it always Jews? And then Halpern's agreeing with them on it. Like,
right, that's bizarre. That's totally bizarre. No, it's better if they were Muslims, because that would be safer. I think Ro Khanna and Barack Obama should be doing the negotiations. Then you have 2 Muslims and it'll go better because they understand each other's habits. Why not?
Yeah, there you go. Ro Khanna, when he's not being quote unquote held by Israel, like his buddy Tucker.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Speaking of the claims, this is where we're going now. Get this. I'll give a little bit of an intro. The latest is that it could have been Candace on September 10th. Wait and listen.
Could have been Candace, or she went by the building.
My gut has told me about the situation from the moment that it took place. I know what beyond my gut and beyond my dreams, the statement from Andrew Colbert, it was supposed to be you. Was it? Was it? Is it fair to ask if it's plausible that when Charlie was taken to the Hamptons, the phone call no one wants to address from Bibi Netanyahu, is it fair to ask the question if it was literally supposed to be me who was supposed to be back on tour with Charlie? Did he say no to killing Candace Owens?
What is he talking about here? Fill me in.
Okay.
I don't speak Candace. I don't speak Candace, so you're gonna.
I don't.
You're gonna have to translate here.
Essentially, she's claiming that Charlie Kirk might have been killed because he refused to kill her.
Charlie Kirk refused to kill her.
Right.
So they had to
or let her get killed by Netanyahu because
they had to kill 007 and replace him with 008 because he refused to use his license to kill.
Essentially, yes.
Oh my God. Can I ask the question? Is she fucking batshit crazy? Is it wrong to ask the question, Eric, just to raise the question that she's mentally ill?
Oh, it's perfectly fine.
I'm just raising the question. Is it safe or is it okay to raise that question? I'm not answering the question.
Mm-hmm.
Is it safe to maybe raise the question, is she mentally ill?
With her, I would say no, she is not.
Okay, well, you're answering the question that was raised.
No, I understand that. In my opinion, she is sniffing out a nickel wherever she can go, and any way possible. How do I put it? There's mental illness, like schizophrenia and things like that, and then there are personality disorders. I would say she would fall under the personality disorder.
Okay, all
so
right.
which could be narcissist or
Right.
borderline, sociopath, psychopath, pick one of those. And I would say I would probably classify her as somewhere along that line, or just a incredibly talented grifter.
Okay.
So, yeah, everything she does is going to circle around to her like a narcissist and everything else. So, it is what it is. Oh, look at this! A $50 super chat from Pirate Ken coming in. Ahoy, mates!
Pirate Ken.
Ahoy, mates! What a weekend it was in Long Beach. Invading pirates celebrated with carnival exuberance, singing sea shanties, pictures with costume women, lines of raunchy buccaneers, and marching parades, and yours truly, but polite at your dinner.
Wow, I'm glad you had a good time, Kenny. That sounds like a lot of fun for pirates on the go.
Absolutely.
Eric probably has one near him that you could go to next.
Yep. I don't know if it's the original, but it is a great one. And
there's a lot of these, aren't there? You could put a whole tour together. I'm sure Ken's aware of them because he shows up at a lot of these.
It could be, but people show up in costumes, and you have all the pirates and the winches and all the fun stuff.
Well, the Renaissance fairs are still all over the country, right? People in costume for that, jousting.
Yeah, well, the SCA, I know somebody who's in that, and they do the jousting and whatnot. And then there's medieval knights, which is a professional business that does it, but
it's also a restaurant.
Yeah, it is a business. It's like a show.
Yeah.
And I think that's in Atlanta and a couple other places.
I'd like to see some Texas cage match in the middle of Applebee's. I think that would be a nice distraction.
Well, I mean, you had Spirit Airlines. I guess that's gone now.
That's gone. We got to fill that void.
Carnival Cruises.
Well, I think their days are numbered too. To be honest with you, they've got the listeria, they've got the fighting. The best was the gay cruise that they weren't allowed to disembark in Turkey and Egypt, Eric. And they're blaming Trump for this because the Muslim countries won't let them in.
Which, you said that to me, and it's mind-boggling.
How do you get to Trump from that?
That's TDS. I mean, it's like, you know what? It's not that far off. Honestly, the next sentence would be the Jews.
Oh, right. Yeah, I guess.
So if it's not Trump, it's Israel, right? I mean, so that's the kind of logic we have here. Not that they have a religion that does not agree with
they don't get it.
Any way, shape, or form.
It's some sort of derangement syndrome about the religion of the Muslims that doesn't allow it. They think that that's all made up. I don't think they buy it.
You're right. No, I
don't think they buy it, bro.
Do. I think they genuinely do believe that that's a bullshit narrative or whatever. And
I think they look at it like those are like the Orthodox Jewish sect of the Muslims. And it's not rank and file Muslims, and they're just like us because they met one in school who was their professor, who was Edward Said, let's say, at Columbia, or Mandami's father at Columbia, to be honest with you.
Right. Well, and that, you know what, that is the argument. And I think it's I forgot the exact number, but I want to say like 5 or 6% rule. Like if you keep the amount down to 5%, it's never a problem because there's just not enough for them to take hold. As soon as they get above that number.
Oh, you mean in the population?
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly. So if you're in a population for example, and it's under 5%, yeah, they're very tolerant because they're an extreme
Docile.
minority. And you know
Docile.
what they want? They want freedom of religion, freedom of speech. They love all the freedoms up until the point that they take over. So then when they get enough population, well, then those freedoms, they disappear and it becomes a new kind of thing. And it's Sharia law.
Sharia law.
As we're seeing in Michigan, as we see what people are trying to do otherwise. So, I mean, there's so much wisdom in the whole 5% rule or whatever that is, you know, keeping the numbers low enough that they can't really get enough political traction. Then it is a lot easier to deal with and tolerate. So, but yeah, I don't understand. I've never understood the blindness of.
What do they do on a gay cruise that they can't do on a regular cruise?
I don't know.
Right.
I have to get back to me.
I don't think anybody wants
I
to
almost
know.
said each other, but I was like, well,
No.
Yeah, they could do that on a regular cruise.
Are they
so.
banned from regular cruise lines? Or they have to have 1,700 people on one ship to have more choices.
I mean, on a gay cruise, there might be fewer kids. That's always nice.
All right.
So
That's
maybe no families means that,
I
it
can
just
see
be
that.
a freak
That's
show,
a
and that's
good
great.
answer.
God bless
Good
them.
answer. Yeah,
I
good
don't mind.
answer.
Go.
I'd like to think that hotels would do that. You know that, Eric?
Well, they probably do. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that if you rented out a hotel or did a convention or whatever, I mean, don't they have furry conventions and weird stuff in different places?
Right.
So,
right.
I don't know. It's not something I delved into. There was a show on HBO back in the day that kind of delved into that called Real Sex. I don't know if you remember this. It was like a late night show, and it was, and the funny part about that show is it was not titillating. It actually, it had tons of nudity, but it was kind of like the nudist camps. Every time they show nudist camps, you're like, oh God, please, can we change out the people? Because it's not like a bunch of really neat looking people. It's a lot of people who are.
No, I got to find hotels that don't have kids. And that's my new goal in life. I was in this hotel last week, and was just about to do a broadcast, and on the upstairs, some kid was running back and forth, and this is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, nonstop doing gymnastics. So I called the front desk and said, look, you got to send somebody up there. And she goes, I'm so sorry. There is a kid up there. I'm going to send somebody over. And I said, thank you. Then the guy calls in the middle of the show from the front desk. And I said, I got to call you back. I'm doing something. So I call the guy back and he says, I'm sorry, we can't stop them from running up and down. The quiet time is 10 o'clock at night, and they're quite legitimately allowed to do whatever they want in their fucking rooms, these kids, all day long. I mean, it was so deafening. I couldn't even tell you of these kids just running back and forth in these rooms. But apparently it's quite kosher.
Yeah. And then they would get into trouble. Well, I mean, we already have that too. There's nothing more fun than you're sitting at a restaurant and you have the little girl or little boy who has that particular squeal that makes your ears bleed as you're eating, and the parents just kind of just sit there and they're like, no, stop it. Oh, don't. And and I'm not recommending what I went through growing up. Let's just say that I would be relocated outside, and the behavior would have stopped immediately,
right?
In a not fun manner. So I definitely I can relate to that. And Dustin, yeah, parents are probably drunk. Yeah,
I wouldn't be, or at the pool. They're drunk or at the pool.
Yeah, or both.
Or both.
All right, we got a rumble rant here from King of Biltong saying, skip the gas station junk food while traveling. Pack Biltong from Biltong USA. Clean protein pack, grass-fed, air-dried beef with great flavor. Go to Biltong USA. Use code biltongusa.com. Use code AUS for 10% off. Bring extra Biltong with you to shove in a kid's mouth when they're screaming, and maybe that'll help you.
That's helpful.
He didn't say that. That's my bonus. That's my tag. And King of Biltong also said, check out our Rumble channel for all things DIY, Biltong, and cool American history, streaming live 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central Time, channel at Rusty Ranch on Rumble. So everybody check that out if you want to know it. I don't know why you're not talking about more South Africa, King Anton, but very, very cool. Jack White has been a member for 17 months. Thoughts on Barnes and Bears predictions?
I don't know what
I don't know.
What are they predicting?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a vague
End of the
thing.
world or something? Or what?
Maybe.
You're gonna have to get back to us on that.
Oh, he's saying about the midterms, I mean.
Oh, I don't know.
I
don't know
honestly
what he's
don't know.
predicting.
I don't even know what to think what the midterms are. Well, here we go. Thank you for filling in. I appreciate you donating the whole time. They seem to think there's going to be a giant blue wave in the upcoming midterms. A lot of people think that, sure. I think that the general consensus is that they may win the House. I don't know if it'd be by a lot because the redistricting has caused a lot of problems. And I think the Republicans will hold the Senate. But the Republicans may hold everything barely.
Yeah, that's right.
So
We'll
that's
see.
kind of where I am on it. I don't know the rest. I do agree with Larry O'Connor on that, and I think he brings up a really salient point. They like to say that the average, Democrat vibe is, +3 Democrats or whatever. And he says, you've got to go candidate by candidate.
Of course.
So if every candidate they run is Graham Plattner,
Right.
it's not going to be a problem.
They've got a lot of Plattners out there. I'll tell you that right now. They got a bunch of these guys.
And these crazy ass socialists that are out there. So
And things are blowing up in their faces recently. So,
Yeah, and I'm not going to say that they're definitely going to win or not, but it is a challenge for them right now. As a matter of fact, don't take my word for it. Take this guy's word for it, who is a well-known long-term Democratic operative by the name James Carville.
Oh, let's see what he's got.
But it's the Democrats' fault. It's the
Whoa.
Democrats. It's all because the Democrats listen to Al Gore, some shit like that. These people are so fucking stupid. I don't know what to say about it. So now we have this idea that these insurgent Democrats, and what is their solution? Is their solution to beat Republicans, to run against Republicans? No. Their solution is to beat Democrats. Like they're part of the problem. No, you are part of the problem because you're a fucking idiot.
Whoa.
And you just believe that pablum nonsense that drifts around the left wing, I don't know, whatever sphere, blogosphere, atmosphere, thought sphere, or whatever sphere they got. But it's the Democrats' fault.
And I'm good to see his bars fully stocked.
It's good to see that he's surrounded by alcohol because that couldn't be a problem for a Southern Cajun like him.
No, not at all. But look, I think that he answers better than I can.
Yeah, he knows.
that. Let's see, Scott H. Why doesn't Trump invoke the Communist Control
I was
Act
just going to
of
bring that up.
1954?
That's
US
insane.
law
I was
outlaw
just
the
going to
Communist
say
Party.
that.
Yeah.
Wow. I was saying that to Eric right before the show, Scott. That's so funny you mentioned that. I mean, it was signed by Eisenhower in 1954. The courts have weakened it somewhat over the years, but nevertheless, you could bring it back about the DSA and fight that fight.
Even though
I'm not
we're
alone
not
saying
communists,
this.
we're Democrats.
Michael
socialists.
Savage has said this recently this past week, as has Mark Levin, and others are starting to think about the Communist Control Act and UAC, the House Un-American Activities Committee, and reforming that into a congressional committee investigating communists within the United States government.
Yeah, I mean, the more and more you look at it,
but something's got to give. I mean, you got to do
I'm just
something.
thinking of how important was Joseph McCarthy for our history, because the effect that he had lasted really for decades.
There's also the McLaren Act version of that in the Senate, just for historical sake to point out.
Fair enough. All right, Dr. Evil said Felix the cat reaches into his interdimensional bag of tricks.
He's a good cat, man. He's a good cat.
Party says the bison was camera shy.
Well, he wanted to get paid. I mean, there's people who just don't like paparazzi, and Alec Baldwin was one of them.
That's true. That's true. You're going to have to charge for signatures, or he will charge you. And Party gifted an American Untold Stories membership. Thank you very much. All right, Zandanga. I learned my lesson 25 years ago in Wyoming. Fenced field of bison, so I got out of my car to take a pic. They started charging the fence. Thank God I could still run back then.
Yeah. No, she's he or she is right about that. The fence is what I was talking about. There's areas that are fenced in, but it's just a wiry kind of fence that doesn't look very strong.
Yeah, it's kind of a suggestion. That's like I grew up in Arizona, and are you familiar with cattle guard crossings where you have a fence?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's just uncomfortable on their feet. But if they were to jump, they could get right over some of that stuff.
Right on.
Donald J. Skywalker said, per Steve Turley, they are presenting declassified evidence of foreign intelligence from the 2020 election gained from the Fulton County raid.
Who is Steve Turley, by the way? Some podcaster?
Or Jonathan Turley.
Well, that's a different person. I don't know. Maybe
it could be, but I could see Jonathan Turley talk about evidence being, a legal scholar and somebody who's out there, but I don't know.
Donald, who is Steve Turley?
Well, we'll find out. So I'm going to say he meant Jonathan, but
that's a big leap. Okay.
Well, why not? It's my job. I'm a YouTuber. I just bloviate. William Ratcliffe, Dr. Mary Sherman and her research put to use?
In what department?
I don't know the context. I don't know.
These people seem to avoid one particular thing, and that's context.
Well, he probably wrote it while we were talking about something, but I don't remember at 6:04 p.m. what I was saying, and I don't know about you.
So I don't know what he's talking about.
And then here we go again from Teal's. I agree with Mark. This doesn't pass the smell test. Well, that's half the show.
Probably about McConnell. That's probably about Lindsey Graham then. But the other one with Dr. Mary Sherman, I don't know if we were mentioning that. I'm just trying to think what could be. I don't know. New Orleans?
Maybe. But we didn't mention New Orleans unless it was Lindsey Graham.
Maybe.
Sherman, Mary Sherman's work?
Maybe. Well, maybe they'll come back to us. What else you got over there? They might come back.
Oh, okay. Somebody says Steve Turley's another YouTuber.
That's what I thought. Yeah, okay. I thought so. Yeah.
All right. Well, there it is. And somebody else is saying he's a political scholar. So that's two Turleys. All right. Party is a new member. Thank you. Gifted a membership and became one. All right. Al Gonzalez. Mark nailed it in regard to Graham's computers being seized. The speed in which it happened says it all. Could be some dark stuff leaking out. Sure.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, is grabbing what's there before it got leaked out and protecting it. And I think they were ordered in by people above them. I don't think Kash Patel woke up and said, the first thing I got to do is get to Lindsey Graham's house. Somebody in the administration told them to do that, which is not completely insane because of what Eric's mentioning and also the gay angle. Could be both.
Yeah. I mean, all the above. And really anybody who has that kind of influence, because he was the head of committee, like a budgeting committee.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think of the seats that he held,
a
lot of McCain's influence kind of rolled to him when McCain passed on.
Well, I don't think you could blame the Israelis on this one because he was one of the staunchest Israel supporters, unless Candace has another fever dream and says that Netanyahu called her and said, we're going to take out Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past her. I mean, it's a moving narrative. And by the time you address whatever said, there'll be something else. And then you answer the first one, they say, well, what about blah, blah, blah? But you're not, it's like, wait a minute. We're still here.
Yeah.
Like there's a thing going on now with a waiter who supposedly saw Tyler Robinson at a restaurant in Orem, Utah, or whatever, some stuff that's coming out that, they managed to turn up. The defense team never figured it out. Nobody else did, but, they're on the case. All right. Pamela has been a member for 33 months. Headed into 3 years. Thank you so much, Pamela. Pirate Ken. Mark, after 2 visits to LA in 3 weeks, please tell your fellow locals to stop complaining if they feel a little humidity. I'm sure Eric would agree. You want humidity. Try the East Coast.
Well, here, this is when they start stabbing each other when it gets humid because of the radical change in the weather. It's not that it's that humid. It's just the change from the normal dry desert air to humidity makes people kill. So that's kind of why we get nervous. The stabbings go up, the shooting. They just go crazy. They go fucking crazy. I'm sorry.
Well, it happens in New York too, right? Dog days.
No, I know. I don't know statistically because that's kind of normal to have that. But when it does happen here, domestic stuff goes up, stabbings go up, homeless start stabbing more. It's just a fact.
Yeah, I think that's common. Like one way to get protests down and riots down, it happens, but there are many fewer protests in a blizzard.
Humidity can fuck with your drugs too,
Well, I'm sure it can, but that's actually sort of a running joke because I grew up in Tucson and my mom would complain every summer about the humidity and the monsoon season and how oppressive it was. And Leslie, who grew up here in Newport News, was just laughing her ass off because we get days here where we'll have 80% humidity and higher. Like, it only gets slightly higher and starts raining. It's that effing humid. And in Tucson, when my mom was complaining, it was probably a whopping 20% to 25%. And people are like, oh my God, I'm dying. Like my mother. All right. Well, it's Dustin said the Communist Control Act is mostly
mostly is the key word there, Dustin. Mostly.
All right. He said, I've read up on this, no meat on that bone. Well,
just a Supreme Court ruling away. Everything you're saying is quite fascinating, but there is a Supreme Court that we now have that's different from the Warren Supreme Court.
True. And I think it is still an act. It hasn't been overturned.
Yeah, that absolutely. It's on the books. Absolutely on the books.
So that's always helpful. But you know what? We can go have it out and discuss it in locals, along with other, crazy words that are a normal vocabulary that you're not allowed to say here on YouTube. And I encourage everybody to come on.
What about torn from the headlines? We got that also, right?
That's right. We've got torn from the headlines. And, why wait a couple days to see torn from the headlines when you can always come to locals and see it when it comes out?
Good point.
As part of the show. And we'll see you there.
Oh, okay. We're going there now?
We're going there now.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was just a promotion. Okay.